Welcome, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're all wearing green. Um, welcome to our MSL webinar on careers for non-lawyers in and around the capital. I'm Clemence Kuchera, and I'm the Assistant Dean for the McGeorge Graduate Law Programs. With me today is my colleague, Professor Erin O'Neill Muilenburg, who is a Director of our Government and Capital Employment, as well as an adjunct professor here at McGeorge. Professor Muilenburg works with students and alumni to provide tools and resources for lifelong professional development. Her goal is to assist with creation and execution of individual career plans to help McGeorge students and alumni achieve long-term career success and satisfaction. Thank you very much for being with us today, Professor Muilenburg.
Absolutely. Clemence, I'm unable to start my video.
It's completely fine. Thank you for letting me know.
Just checking. Yes.
Yes, thank you. So today we're talking about the legislative career opportunities for non-lawyers, which includes lobbying, legislative staff, policy specialists, analysts, and other roles with local, state, and federal government, and how the McGeorge MSL program, so the Master of Science in Law, can provide students with the expertise needed to advance their career contribution to positive change. So, Professor Muilenburg, can you tell us about some of the kinds of job opportunities that are available in and around the Capitol?
Sure, absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. It's great to have a chance to talk with you all. McGeorge is located in Sacramento, which is obviously the capital city of California, and there are a tremendous variety of career opportunities available to students who are interested in government law and policy, environmental law and policy. Obviously, we have the Capitol itself. Our grads work in the building as committee consultants, legislative staffers, some individuals working in the governor's office. There are lobbyists in Sacramento, both contract lobbyists who have multiple clients and lobbyists who are dedicated to a given organization or industry. We have analysts working in state agencies. We have folks working for trade associations, working for nonprofit organizations such as the Sierra Club or Defenders of Wildlife as advocates, legislative and governmental advocates. So our proximity to the state capitol really allows students to plug into a wide variety of careers in our alumni network.
Thank you. It's good to hear that we have alumni in all those different places. But so in your view, what makes McGeorge's MSL program in government law and policy or in water and environmental law unique as far as networking and job opportunities?
I think our location, as I mentioned, being the Capitol's law school, the proximity to the Capitol, we are located 3 miles from the state capitol. We have an alumni network that is unrivaled. I was at an event at UC Davis Law School a couple of years ago, and I was talking about our capital programs, and one of the individuals there said, we keep trying to break into that space, but every time we turn around, we're talking to someone that went to McGeorge. And I said, yeah, that's absolutely the case. We have folks working at every level of government, whether it be, again, in the building or outside of the building. And the ability to plug into those alumni, they're very enthusiastic about working with students who are equally as passionate about the intersection of policy and law that we sort of find in our MSL program at McGeorge and then translates into the workplace after graduation. So I think you couldn't pick a better place to study these topics, and particularly if you're interested in working in and around the Capitol.
Thank you. So you referred to events. So can you describe to us, what are the events that we either have on our off campus or online that helps our graduate students meet McGeorge grads?
Sure. So this is obviously a unique year with the COVID lockdown situation that we're in. So a number of our events, in fact, all of our events that we normally have in person are all online this year. So that's been an interesting sort of process in terms of moving our events online, and they may well be online for the upcoming semester, just depending on how things go. But we kick off the year every year with our Capitol Tour and Cocktails, which is an event that takes place normally at the state capitol. This year we did it online with a private tour of the Capitol. We have at McGeorge our MSL program, and then we also have an MPP MPA program and a concentration in the JD program for folks who are focused on capital work. So all of those students, typically gather at the Capitol for a tour, and then we have an event, a mixer type reception event at a restaurant nearby. Again, this year we did everything online, but it's a chance for us to get to know faculty and practitioners and alumni who are working in the space. It's a chance for all of our Capitol students to get to know each other in all of the various programs. I often tell students it's important to network with folks who are working in the space and in the various agencies or organizations or the building that you might be interested in, but it's also really important to get to know each other because you will all be graduating and working in and around the Capitol. And so it's a fantastic opportunity to know your fellow students and also get to know alumni and find out more about different career paths. That's kind of our flagship event at the beginning of the year. We also every year have a Capitol Careers event in September where we highlight individuals who are working in different aspects of employment in and around the Capitol. This past year, we had Jamie Taylor, who is an MSL alum from McGeorge, who is currently the director of the California State Senate Fellows Program, which is a program that recruits students, college grads and law school grads from all over California and frankly nationwide. It's a very prestigious program who are interested in doing a one-year fellowship at the state capitol. We also have an event that we kicked off this past year called Getting a Job in the Building, where we featured a McGeorge alum, one on either side of the aisle, so one from the Democratic side, one from the Republican side, talking with students about how to get a job in the building. We have a state jobs event where we focus on getting a job with a state agency and have some alums, both from our legal master's programs and our JD programs, talk with students about how to go about doing that. And then we also have a monthly event called Capitol Connect, which we host at a restaurant nearby McGeorge. This year they've been online, but it's a chance for our students to network in a very casual, low-key kind of environment. We have some alums come and focus on a different topic every month. We've had local government, lobbying, social justice advocacy, and other topics, just to name a few. But there are a lot of ways to plug in with our community via events at McGeorge that are directed toward folks who are interested in capital and government work.
Wow, that is a lot. And so when you're not busy when you're not working on putting those events together, you work in our career development office. And I know the CDO provides like many resources to graduate students. So can you describe some of those resources that graduate students can use to look for jobs in the capital space, please?
Sure. There are two subscription newsletters that are important to know about, the Capitol Morning Report and the Capitol Daybook. The content on those newsletters is a fee-for-service situation, but their classifieds are free. And so students can access the classifieds for the Capitol Morning Report and the Capitol Daybook. There's a third newsletter called the Nooner. And all of these e-newsletters publish job openings in and around the Capitol. So those are some of the things that I typically talk with students about making sure to stay on top of, because when something comes up, you want to be ready with your materials to apply, as soon as you see something you're interested in, because kind of getting your materials in there on time is obviously key to making a good first impression. We also talk with students about kind of constructing searches around things like policy analyst or governmental advocate, lots of different kind of synonymous terms on the various job posting services to get weekly updates in terms of new postings that have come up that they might be interested in applying to. So there are a lot of resources available for students who are interested in working either in government law and policy or environmental law and policy. And Sacramento, again, a lot of folks come to Sacramento who are interested in water and the kind of juxtaposition of environmental issues and water issues and policy. So we have resources around that as well.
Thank you. And in addition to that, you also meet with any students or e-meet with any students who is asking for feedback on their cover letter or resume, or just simply to talk with you about their strategies. Right.
Our office is available to do that, yes. So students can either schedule a meeting. Currently, all the meetings are online. When we get back in person, it's also possible to meet in person, but either online or in person, and they can submit their application materials to our office for review.
Thank you. And so through our MSL program, we have some, uh, although our program is, I think it's like we're in the 6 years of having, or 7th year of having this MSL degree. But we do have some MSL alumni, a significant number of them who work in and around the Capitol. Could you give us some examples of where they are and who is working in the Capitol and the type of things that they're doing?
Sure. So I mentioned Jamie Taylor earlier, who is, he used to work in the state capitol, and now he's director of the California State Senate Fellows Program. We also have Maral Farsi, who is deputy director of legislative affairs for the California Governor's Office, their Office of Business and Economic Development. Inez Taylor is currently working as a committee secretary and consultant for the California Assembly Utilities and Energy Committee. We have Tara Beltran, who is working as a compliance coordinator for Westervelt Ecological Services. We have just a wide variety of different types of careers, as I mentioned earlier. Erin Norwood is Senior Vice President of Government Affairs for Norwood Associates, which is a lobbying firm here in town. Several other alums who are working in the building include Susan Chan, who is a consultant for the Assembly Budget Committee, and Amanda Ritchie, who is a policy consultant in the California State Senate as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So a lot of, so those alumni, like I think are a few years out of the MSL program and they've started working in or around the Capitol either prior to starting the MSL program or it's through the networking opportunities that Professor Muilenburg just described that they were able to launch their career in and around the Capitol. So I know that you, probably all of you attendees have like multiple questions for Professor Muilenburg. But before I open it up for Q&A, I wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about our program. So we have two online concentration that Professor Muilenburg just referred to in the MSL program. One is in water and environmental law, and the other one is in government law and policy. So let me first start by highlighting the fact that both of these concentrations are 100% asynchronous online programs. So by asynchronous, what we mean is that you won't need to log in at a particular time to complete your work. Rather, you will have the flexibility to do it at a time that is convenient for you. That being said, there's still going to be some firm deadline on a weekly basis. Through our innovative curriculum, we have set up our courses so that students are required to engage on a weekly basis with their classmates and professors. So our classes have weekly discussions, quizzes. Our students can also expect feedback from their professors on a very regular basis. All of that creates a collegial online learning environment. And naturally, our students tend to create study groups on their own. Not all of our students are local to this region or to Sacramento. Sometimes they're even as far as we have one like in Texas and another students in Montana. But obviously, now we're all familiar with Zoom. And so they were able to create those study groups that we very much encourage students to pursue them. You learn so much by learning from your peers. And so finally, I think students will quickly realize that all of our courses, we've carefully crafted the content of the programs to give students a particular set of legal skills that is directly applicable to your work or to the work that you would want to have. This is like one of the difference between our JD program. Our JD program also have a very large number of seminar courses that teach like practical skills, excuse me. But the JD program, like students who are enrolled in the JD program also want to pass a bar exam. So we also teach for students to be able to be successful in the bar exam. MSL students, on the other hand, like won't take a bar exam. So we're able to directly teach you very practical legal skills. So I'm not going to go into too much details about the curriculum, I just wanted to for you to at least like be able to read the courses that we currently offer in the online world. Um, there is, as you can see, some significant overlap between the required courses between the government law and policy and the water and environmental law, because as you will realize, water and environmental law is very much a subsection, frankly, of the government law and policy, although it certainly would require like a dive in, uh, in certain subjects such as water resources law, natural resources law, and environmental law. Students in either concentration also have the options to take courses in the other concentration, so for the electives. So there is quite some flexibility there. And finally, although like it's not perhaps something that is feasible for you, we also have a lot of residential courses, and our online students or our students enrolled in those two concentrations are able to take some of our on-campus courses. We also have a completely residential pathways for those of you who prefer to do something in person. So anyway, as I mentioned, I won't go into too much more details about the curriculum. I know you probably have questions about career opportunities in and around the capital, but if you are interested in the MSL program, I encourage you to reach out to us so we can schedule a one-on-one meeting. I very much would like an opportunity to talk about your career goals and how you think the MSL program will help you, just to make sure that it's a good fit. We're currently accepting applications for this fall 2021 and spring 2022. So anyway, so with that said, I'm going to open it up now for questions. So you can either post them in the chat box or you can post them in the Q&A section. And please don't be shy. So one of the question is like, has this been recorded? Yes, this webinar is recorded, and we'll send it to everyone afterwards. While we're waiting for others to pose their question, Professor Muilenburg, could you talk a little bit about, since the MSL degree is a fairly new degree, could you talk about how well it is recognized by employers in Sacramento?
I think because McGeorge has such a long-standing relationship with the capital and the capital area, the MSL degree at McGeorge is very well recognized by individuals who are working in and around the capital. The idea, as you mentioned, of being able to get a degree that gives one some expertise in law and policy issues without needing to take the bar exam, for folks who aren't interested in practicing law in the traditional sense, I think is seen as a valuable asset in terms of making folks stand out in their job application process or potentially be available or looked at for promotion within their existing organization, given the graduate degree with this particular focus on either government law and policy or environmental and water law and policy.
Thank you. Please don't hesitate to post a question. And I see that a few people just joined us. I heard that there was some problem with the Zoom link. So for those of you who just joined us, please know that we're recording this webinar, and so we'll send you the recording afterwards. But feel free to post any question to Professor Muilenburg. I'm not seeing any questions this time, but I also can see that my Q&A box is hidden. So allow me to stop sharing just for a minute. So here's a question. Not sure what you talked about because so one of the participants just mentioned like they did not have an opportunity to join the Zoom meeting because they didn't receive the Zoom link. So I apologize about that. Um, I'm conscientious of the time for everyone, so I would um, hate to repeat completely the webinar, but in light of this difficulties that we just had. Uh, Professor Muilenburg, would you mind just going over and talking a little bit again about the kind of opportunities that someone who's completing an MSL degree would have?
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, I think McGeorge's location in California State Capitol, 3 miles from the Capitol building itself, provides just a really unparalleled range of opportunities in and around the Capitol. We have alums who are working in the Capitol building itself as legislative staff or committee consultants. We have alums who are working in the governor's office. Certainly alumni who are working as lobbyists or working within the various state agencies here in Sacramento as analysts and other positions like that. We have alumni who are working for trade associations and then for nonprofit organizations as well, such as the Sierra Club or other environmental and social justice type organizations as policy advocates or legislative advocates in government affairs. So there are a lot of opportunities to plug into our alumni network, which is extremely strong in and around the Capitol, to get to know people who are doing different kinds of things in the legislative and policy space and find out about careers you might be interested in, and then pursue those careers with the support of an alumni network behind you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Muilenburg. So I am very much sorry for those of you who were not able to join us earlier. Unfortunately, I'm seeing the time, and we've set up those webinars to not be more than 20 to 30 minutes long. So I encourage all of you who were not able to join us at the beginning of this webinar to listen to the recording. I also encourage you to get in touch with us, and we can set up a one-on-one meeting. I'll be more than happy to talk with you about career opportunities and also about what the MSL program can do for you. I'm also happy to put you in touch with Professor Muilenburg if you have any specific question for her. So thank you very much, Professor Muilenburg, for being here today, and thank you all for joining us.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. I hope to see you all either virtually or on campus or at some of our events next year.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day.